Begin with important news just into CNN. The debt limit talks on Capitol Hill hitting a snag. This morning, the top Republican negotiator walking out of a meeting, saying the White House stance is unreasonable. Congressman Garrett Graves says talks for now are, quote, on pause. That just a few hours after President Biden was briefed by his top negotiators. The president.
Dude, I'm so jealous that they're in Japan, by the way. Can I just point that out one more time? I know I've said it a lot and you guys have heard me say it a lot, but like, it actually irks me. It actually pisses me off that they're just like having the time of their lives in Japan. I wish I was there. I mean, fuck you. Actually, fuck you.
President leaving a G7 leaders dinner in Japan early for that update. And less than 24 hours ago, Team Biden and the Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy both voicing optimism, saying they were seeing progress in those.
Also, the Japanese are the most cuck nation on the planet. It's like kind of a major L to hold like the G7 in Hiroshima. I'm going to say it. Like, it's so insanely cucked. Where the entire conversation is like avoiding the next nuclear war. Like, dude, come on. Do you think Biden's going to visit Akihabara? I fucking hope so. Do you think Pelosi is petting otters right now? I don't think Nancy Pelosi's there. I'm imagining Biden buying One Piece Figma saying Nami is best. Nami is the best girl, Jack. Why? Yeah, Biden went to Akihabara and was like, God damn it, Oda. I haven't watched this episode yet. These fucking figurines these fucking figurines spoiled it for me. I'm in a different arc. I haven't seen what happens to Frankie yet. And now I know. What the hell are those shoulders, man? Cut the malarkey.
Those talks. So did one member of the centrist Problem Solvers Caucus.
Everyone's not going to be happy with everything. That's, to me, always a good deal if everyone's a little upset. And, you know, it's not going to be perfect. But the bottom line is we're going to make sure that the full faith and credit of the United States continues.
This guy. We have our best guy in the talks. Josh Gottheimer.
Great to CNN's Melanie Zanona. She's live on Capitol Hill. Melanie, early in the morning there was optimism. What happened?
Well, this is a huge setback for these talks. There was optimism, as you noted yesterday, and even heading into this meeting. Negotiators did meet this morning on Capitol Hill, but they briefly broke up. And coming out of that meeting, Garrett Graves, one of the lead negotiators for Republicans, told us we decided to press pause because it's just not productive. So I talked to some sources who.
It's so stupid because like the Republican demands for okay, the Republicans have a gun to the global economy. Okay, they're pointing a gun at the head of the global economy. It's not just the American economy; it's the global marketplace. Okay, everything will fall apart. It happens all the fucking time. It's incredibly fucking stupid. Okay? And what are the demands that they're making? Oh, that's right. They want to cut entitlements. They want to add more like work conditions to welfare. Like just deeply undesirable and unpopular things that you are pointing to specifically so that you look like you're doing something, anything. Just so that there's like JD Pawn GOP going to cause the U.S. to default based. Yes. JD Pawn GOP. Now I understand the MAGA communists. They are terrorists that want to destroy the U.S. from within. The largest superpower responsible for the most bloodshed in the third world. And the global south is the United States of America. And the MAGA communists are trying to fucking destroy that from within.
who said there are a number of issues where they just feel like they're at an impasse right now. And as of right now, there are no additional meetings scheduled for today. So look, John, you've seen these negotiations play out before. Usually there are legislative blowups before everyone
Dude, I love this.
can finally come together. There's a lot of posturing that
I already
goes on
watched the
both
IDubbbz
sides. And as we've seen,
apology reaction
both
by Moist
Republicans
Critical, and I
and
disagree
Democrats
with
are
it.
facing a lot of pressure and getting a lot of heat from their right and
down
left
to talk to him,
flanks to
too.
not cave and to dig in. But in terms of a timeline, it is very problematic because they were hoping to reach a deal by this weekend. That is something that Speaker Kevin McCarthy said is needed in order to get this bill through the floor and get it over to the Senate by this early June deadline. And so it is all but dashing hopes that negotiators are going to be able to reach a deal in principle by this weekend. That's not to say that they can't eventually get it done, but this is not a very welcome development on Capitol Hill, John.
And Mel, any details? Sometimes it's one little thing that can set these things off the rails for a little bit. Sometimes it's kind of a combination that they're stuck on everything and they just say, let's take a break. Do we know?
Yeah, I think it's more the latter. It's a combination of issues. The talks had been slowly but surely moving ahead. Some of the issues that have come up in the last 24 hours, according to our sources, is the White House has been pushing for a debt ceiling hike that would last into 2025 because they don't want to have to deal with this again until after the next presidential election. But in talking to Republicans, that is something they said, if we're going to entertain that, we need to see a lot more savings and cuts put on the table. The other issue at play has been work requirements. That's something Republicans are pushing for. Biden seems to be open to some form of work requirements for TANF, which is the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families programs, but nothing has been finalized. So still a lot to go and a lot that could go wrong between now and early June, John.
Melanie Sonona, appreciate the hustle and the breaking news on Capitol Hill. Keep us posted if we learn anything else. With me in studio to share their reporting and their insights, CNN's Jeff Zeleny, Mariana Sotomayor of the Washington.
We're going to end up with that stupid fucking $1 trillion coin, and when Trump gets back in the office, he's going to pocket it. Yeah. He'll be like, bye-bye. I put it in my pocket. Don't care who minted it. It's mine now. Bye-bye.
Washington Post and Zolan Kano-Youngs of the New York Times. So this is both expected, I would say, because the issues are so important and the divide is so big, but also potentially troubling if you're a CEO, if you're financial.
I literally just haven't followed this at all because I think it's so stupid and it's just the same bullshit back and forth over and over again with like Democrats basically looking at the insane, unreasonable demands of a Republican Party that is like throwing up empty threats unless you like, I don't know, keep punching the fucking murder poor people button or else we won't fund the government. You know what I mean? And then we have to play the song and dance over and over again. It's so dumb.
Financial markets. If you're the president of the United States who's overseas right now telling people, I got this, America will not default.
Without question. I mean, all signs had been pointed to an agreement, which was actually a little surprising because that does not usually happen sort of going into a weekend. But I think that one thing this is doing, we've only known about this for a short time, but already the sense of urgency, I think perhaps from Wall Street may change on this. We'll see what the market does today. But heading into the weekend, this is not the place where the White House thought they would be. You heard the optimism from Josh Gottheimer there, the congressman from New Jersey. So look, this often happens. There are some hiccups, but it is the work requirements that is causing the White House a lot of grief from the left. So that's the vice here that they find themselves.
And to that point, when you see Josh Gottheimer saying, I think we're going to get there and get there soon.
It's like IMF conditionalities, except America's doing it to itself. Dude, it's always like that. The violence that you experience every fucking day, the violence that you see on television, domestically, is happening as a consequence of like doing it everywhere else all the fucking time. So much so that like that violence inevitably comes back around and hurts you. Yeah. Same goes for austerity. Like we have been forcing other countries to do austerity for decades and decades, only to have that inevitably come back here. We write countries' constitutions, especially while simultaneously undermining their labor protections, right? Like in Japan, the Japanese Constitution is written by the United States of America. Did you guys know that the Japanese Constitution has a clause where the government cannot interfere in business decisions? Who came up with that idea? That seems like a good idea. Why did they do that? I mean, obviously there's workarounds from it. Just do not misunderstand me. I'm not saying that like the Japanese government never interferes in business decisions, but the reason why they do that is because it makes it easier to exploit. Okay? Because our capitalists here that wrote our Constitution has the same class interests as the capitalists over there, and that makes for easier collaboration. So understand that if Americans actually did not care about, if the American wealthy, the American bourgeois, the American corporate benefactors, the people who hold the levers of power, if they actually cared about, like, I don't know, only fucking over the working class overseas and not fucking over all working class, they would make sure that our Constitution has like legitimate protections, right? No, wrong. If that was the case, America's unionized employees in the workforce overall, the rate of unionization, the rate of union participation in the American labor force would not be a lower percentage at 11% than Chile, whose labor union participation in the workforce is at 15%. We wrote their fucking constitution. We made it illegal to do all that shit. We forced them into austerity. I mean, we put a fucking dictator in a position of power. And yet, even after all of that, Chile has a higher labor union participation rate than the United States of America. Korean institutions are the same name with a K in front, like KCIA? Yeah. Nintendo's older than the Japanese Constitution? Bro, Nintendo's almost older than the American Constitution. That's not necessarily a good argument, to be fair. Nintendo's older than a lot of things. What is it, like 1885? $1889? Yeah. Brother, one of the things that I find personally to be super sick, because I'm a disgusting fucking weeb, I will admit, is the fact that like there are family-run onsens and shit in Japan that have been going for like 2,000 years. No, you do not misunderstand me. I said it. I said that number on purpose. I mean, if you don't find that to be cool, I don't know what to tell you. That's crazy. Tom Scott has a video where he visits it. Oh my God, I kind of want to. Okay, let's do this fucking lame-ass debt limit, and then maybe we'll move on to that.
When you see both the president and the House Speaker saying we're suddenly making progress, that's a conversation in the middle.
This story.
And so both the left and the right say, oh, no. And so let's start with the left. You have Democrat, progressive.
The oldest ryokan in Japan is 1,300 years old. Okay, it's not 2,000 years. It's 1,300 years. Shut up, loser. It's cooler when I say it the way I said it.
Stop negotiating, Mr. President. Invoke the 14th Amendment, never really been tested in the courts, but just say, you know, the Constitution says, the amendment says the public debt can never be questioned. Bernie Sanders, among the progressives, who's saying, we don't want cuts. Take a chance.
Using the 14th Amendment would allow the United States to continue to pay its bills on time and without delay, prevent an economic catastrophe, and prevent devastating cuts to some of the most vulnerable people in this country. It should be exercised if necessary.
So again, we go into the details, but if you're the White House team and you're walking back into the meeting today, even though you're making progress, you know the phones are lighting up with progressives saying, stop, don't give away too much.
And they have been, right? I mean, they've already been feeling the pressure from the left flank, particularly after last weekend when the president cited the fact that he did vote for some work requirements as a senator. Right before he left on his trip as well, he had comments where he said, look, you know, we're talking about work requirements, but it wouldn't be of anything of serious consequence. He has dropped hints that that is a subject, a point of focus now where there could be possible consensus, which has led to a frustrated left flank of the party at this point. But Remember, in terms of using the 14th Amendment, this is also somebody in President Biden that came into office and often celebrated, talked about his ability to strike deals with members on the other side. So would you, when you look at that context, is he really going to go for this option? Karine Jean-Pierre the other day also said that he didn't think that would be an ultimate solution for what we're seeing.
Right. They want to talk it out. And again, just yesterday, the House Speaker, so we could put the negotiators back up. Number one, Garrett Graves is his trusted deputy among House Republicans. But the House Speaker complimented the White House team, saying, I like these people, I trust these people, we can get it done. That sent a signal to McCarthy's right. And of course, he is just tenuously Speaker of the House Freedom Caucus yesterday, saying the U.S. House of Representatives has done its job. There should be no.
I have been forcibly trying to get myself to care about this, and I just can't. I just don't think anything bad is gonna happen. Maybe I'm wrong. It's such a stupid fucking thing. Why do we have a debt ceiling? Why do we have a debt limit? Like, we are the only country on the planet that has like an actual debt limit. The other one doesn't really have a debt limit. It's so high that it doesn't matter. It's just so fucking dumb. It's so dumb. Oh. It's America, man. Something bad is definitely going to happen. Something bad is happening already. Something bad is happening all the time. Not related, just thought you would like this funny tweet. This video is 9/11 for men in their mid-20s that are still in their 2016 edgelord era. Yes. It's true. But the saddest part about it is not men in their mid-20s. It's usually men in their mid-30s. They were in their mid-20s when they went through Gamergate. I don't know, man. Losing my SNAP and Medicaid is going to be pretty devastating for me. First of all, the reason why I say it doesn't matter is because it's not going to that's an insane thing to happen. And if the Republicans want to cut your SNAP and Medicaid, they're going to do it regardless. They already have. Like, what do you mean? They literally already have. The reason why your fucking SNAP benefits or your Medicaid is dog shit to begin with is because they've done that already. They already cut it. They cut it all the time.